Hello to all you football junkies on footballpros.com. Welcome back to Turk Talk. Been a while. Good to be back. Last time we talked, you guys mentioned you wanted to start talking about protections. First, I got to show you my hat here that my daughter put together for me. Kind of goes with the grease board a little bit right here. But anyway, protections. You guys want to talk about protections, and what I'll start talking about is one of the first protections you put in training camp. Everybody uses. It's called a turn protection or a slide protection, which means the line's going one way, the back or backs, depending if you got one or two back there, they're going to go the other way. And what I have up here, right here, I have a right formation, two backs in the backfield, an under front shown right here. And when we call this protection, right here, the line's going to turn weak, so they're going to go left. Center's going to step here, step down. He's got the end. And this is a 7-man protection right here. So the fullback would be responsible for the mic. The halfback would be responsible for the Sam linebacker. Both of them are responsible for the strong safety. So any two of those three that come, then you're all picked up. If all three of them come, then they've brought 8 people with the will, and you only have 7, so you would be in a sight adjust mode. Very few teams do that. I saw Jimmy Johnson of the Eagles do it when I was with the New York Giants. They ran that type of blitz, and only then did we ever have to have an adjustment where if we saw that, then the flanker out here or the Z receiver would have to sight adjust. But Jimmy Johnson was a great coach and a mastermind at creating all kinds of blitzes. So you always had to be prepared for him. But that's basically the protection. It's turning one way, the back's going the other, and that's a 7-man protection right there. And when it all first started, the backs always went opposite of the line. And what defenses started to do was they said, okay, these linemen, they're going to the will. I said, the backs are going away. What we're going to do is we're going to put the safety over here, and we're going to bring the safety. They won't have anybody for them. And the line, what offenses did to counter it was they said, line, okay, you have the will and to the free safety. So if the free safety came by himself, they would fan out, the line would, and they would pick up the free safety. Well, then defenses started bringing the will and the free safety to counter, and now you didn't have enough people. The line had to block the will, the free safety, he was free. So offenses started looking at it, and then they said, well, wait a minute. When that free safety comes, they don't bring anybody from the strong side. We're just wasting our back. And most of it was when, it was a one-back set, and you put, say you put the F anywhere. You can put them out here or in the backfield or whatever, but they would bring that blitz right there. And what offenses started doing was they said, well, heck, instead of having him go strong and this guy running free at the quarterback and maybe us having to side adjust and do those types of things, let's just send the halfback back to the other side. So he would step back this way. I call that a redirect rule because your back's starting here, but he has to redirect and go the other way because of the safety blitz. Back in Bill Walsh days, Tom Rathman was their back here. And when that started happening, Joe Montana would just look back and this guy'd start creeping up and he would point to him and he'd just turn back and say, Tom. Made a Tom call. And that was what everybody knew as the Tom rule, was Tom Rathman going backside to pick that up, and it kind of grew from there. Now everybody kind of has a redirect rule with a turn protection. So that's how you would pick up that will free safety blitz. The line gets the will, the back would redirect for the free safety on that one. With a 6-man protection, and that would be the same if you had both backs back here, and I'll put the fullback back here again. He would come here for that. This guy has the redirect rule. So if the free safety did come down, even with 2 backs, 7-man protection, the halfback's the one that would come back and have the redirect rule. He would pick up the free safety right there. Now, what if we got a strong safety and we were in the 6-man turn protection. That was a 7-man that picked all that. This is a 6-man turn protection. So it's a double read by the back, what I call a double read, because he's reading those two guys. If one of those two guys comes, he's got them. If two of those guys come, then the quarterback's in a hot situation, and the tight end, he's releasing. Could be an F if you're in a 3-by-1 in a flat. He could be the hot, but somebody's responsible for the hot as the hot receiver, and the quarterback knows that, and he would throw it to him if both those guys come. Now, again, if the free safety came, and he came from the weak side, you would get a redirect by the halfback. Even in a 6-man protection, he would redirect. The line responsible for the will. Another issue is, what if the strong safety comes? Say we put the F over here, and now the strong safety comes. Well, the halfback, he has a double read. He's going Mike to Sam, and he's also responsible for the strong safety. So if he came by himself, he would step over, pick it up, and you're good to go. Quarterback drops back because only one of those guys came. If any of the two of those three came, then the quarterback knows, I don't have enough protectors, I'm hot, and you would have to hit your hot receiver to that side. So that's your 6 and your 7-man protection. You can actually have a 5-man turn protection and free release the back. If you're in this set and you wanted to offset the back, put them right here and just free release them out in the route and drop back right here. Now it's a 5-man protection. If the will linebacker walked out here and the Mike backer were right here and nobody backed that guy up, there's nobody behind him. Well, the quarterback doesn't want his line to turn to somebody who's not coming to space. So he would make a call right here in what I call it's a base call. He would base the turn protection. He would now base it. And if that was number 54 right there, he would make a base call. Base 54, base 54. Now that puts the line on that guy right there. So the line would go here, here, and these two would be responsible for those two right there. He still has his end right here. And the quarterback would know, I'm hot off that one guy right there because I'm in a 5-man free release. If I didn't have the 5-man protection, okay, say your halfback were back here and he's stepping this way and he's got his double read, well, I just turned the line to this guy, made a base call. So the back now does not have the Mike linebacker. He's responsible for the Sam. If the Mike and the Sam came, you would be picked up. And that's a way to counter. I'll put the mic right here, kind of an under front. That's the way to counter a zone dog. What happens in a zone dog a lot of times is this will linebacker will line up inside. This end is in a 9 technique, a wide 9 technique. He might even stand up, and that's an indicator. If that guy ever stands up, quarterbacks, your ears ought to perk up because they're coming from this side. So if you got that right there, instead of this guy, the Mike and the Sam coming, have the throw hot where that guy's running over the top to either pick it off, he can knock it down, he can put a good shot on the tight end. You can, again, make a base call. So if that Mike linebacker, say again, he's number 54, quarterback, he makes a base call. Base, 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 54, 54. So now the line's going to him. So you're not turning anymore for the will. You based it up. Now the right guard and the center, they've got those two guys, however they unfold, if they got games or whatever, he's got here. And now the back, he would step over. He's got the Sam linebacker. So now they bring two strong, the Sam and the Mike, and now you're not in a hot situation because the quarterback just based that turn protection. He turned it from a turn protection to what I call a Mike declaration protection. So those are the options that he has. So free safeties, you can count for those guys with a redirect rule. You can make a base call. The quarterback can, based on how they look. If the will's out here and nobody backs him up, I can base it to the middle linebacker. If it looks like a zone dog under front, the will's in this A gap. He looks like he's coming over here, a wide 9 or a stand-up in. That's another indicator for a quarterback. I'm going to base it, and now we pretend instead of having to throw hot all day. The other issue that quarterbacks have with this protection, and I'll draw up an over front Okay, say the Will's walked out there. If this Sam lineman, remember the back right here, he's in a double read, right? These guys are going to turn to the Will. Okay? Now, in that look right there, we would make a base. Base 54. Base 54 is the call that we would make on this. So if he doesn't make a base 54, then the back's responsible for the mic to the Sam. If the Sam linebacker lined up right there in that A gap, he can get through here before the back can come up and block him. He can get to the quarterback. So one of two things has to happen here. The line can make a squeeze call, which means this guard's going to squeeze down, the tackle's going to squeeze down so that the quarterback can drop. Guys aren't right in his face. But the problem with it is the back now has to go block the defensive end. If you got a quick game, three-step passing, yeah, you might get away with that. But if you got down the field routes, that's not a good matchup for your halfback. So in that case, what you would do is the quarterback just pats the center on the butt and says, gun, gun, gun. Gets back in the gun. Back moves over right here. And now the back, all A-gap rule responsibilities and term protection are off when you're in the gun. That's why you get in the gun, to take away some of those responsibilities. Because there's space now between the line of scrimmage and the quarterback, so the back can step up and block him right now, so your line just blocks their normal rules like they have it. So those are the two things that you can counter when the back's guy mugs up in that A gap right there. Squeeze, and he has to go block the end guy, or you just get in the gun, tap your center on the butt, get back in the gun. It takes all those rules off, and now you can get back, and if he comes, he blocks him, and you don't have those issues that you had. So that's turn protection. Five-man protection, six-man protection, seven-man protection. Lines turning one way, backs are going the other. The issues that you have are safety blitzes. That's how you pick those up. Could be a safety from the strong side. If just one of them comes, you're okay. Any two of the three come, you're hot in a six-man protection. Seven-man, you can pick that up. Redirect rule by the back. All turn protections have a redirect rule by that back. The deepest back, if it's a fullback, halfback, or the remaining back who's back there, if it's a one-back situation. Now, if it were a five-man, the one issue that you do have, and in a five-man, I always like the quarterback in the gun, and say it's a five-man. You line him up here, and you free release that guy right there. Well, with him free released, if the free safety came, okay, we usually have a redirect rule. Well, when you have a turn protection, and it's a free release by the back, it's a five-man, there's nobody to pick that guy up right there. There's no one to redirect for, okay, because he's free release hot. So the quarterback has to know that guy right there is free, and if you're going to throw hot to this guy, you better be alert, because when he's coming here, the end's usually dropping right there. So you got to be careful as to not just drop back, throw blindly over here. You got to make sure you see that right there. And the one thing you do with that is you can drift this way a little bit. You'll have a hot receiver here. You have your back as a hot receiver, so whichever the best one is, that guy's got to know. That guy right there is free when you have a turn protection, five-man protection. So those are the issues that the quarterback has, the linemen have. You can see the back, he's got some issues as well. Redirect, mugs, all those types of things. But you'll see a lot of teams do, just about everybody has a turn protection. You can turn it weak, you can turn it strong, depending on what matchup you like. If you want to turn it because you think your right tackle holds up against that guy very well, and you want your back to step this way so he can help chip that matchup there, then you'll turn it to the strong side. If you want to turn it to the weak side because of a matchup, same thing. Sometimes it's based on that guy right there. You want to help a three technique. You get a Warren Sapp type guy that just busts up, and it's hard for that. You don't want to turn your line away from a Warren Sapp all the time, so sometimes you want to turn into him to help out. So all those issues go into game planning, your matchups, their matchups, and so forth. But that's the concept of turn protection in the NFL with a 5, 6, and 7-man protection. So let me hear your comments, what you think. If you got any questions on any of this stuff, we can answer them in the next Turk Talk, or just whatever you guys want to talk about. Write it down. I'm always looking at it, footballpros.com. If you're new to the site, welcome to Turk Talk. Get involved. It's a lot of fun. It's good to be back. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. Until then, we'll see you next time.